Okay, y'all, let's get it. What y'all say? Morning Scone. 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 Here he comes. Presented by Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix Margarita Mix. Drew's got himself a little cough. Feeling better. Getting healthier. Little cough here this AM. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and hit the share button. Hopefully y'all will do the same. I regret to inform you that there will be no The Riot podcast today. We will do it tomorrow. Terrio was invited or asked by Beth Torina to speak to the LSU softball team. So he asked if we can move it to tomorrow. I said, of course, because it's Beth Torina, and she's my favorite. Sam Dixon, good morning. Hey, Drew. You want to say good morning to everybody, Drew?
Mimi, come.
Mimi is going to come. And where's Mimi going to take you? Abilities. Very good. Okay. Mimi will take you to Abilities. Very good. And you'll see Miss Margaret. Miss Margaret's going to teach you how to wear a hat. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Are you excited? Huh? Miss Margaret's going to teach you how to wear a hat? So you don't just keep handing it back to Dad all the time? Cool. You look fired up, bud. Sweet. Elmo Ducks. Yep. How about it?
Papa's truck.
And Papa's truck. Drew. List of Drew's favorite things: Elmo Ducks and Papa's truck. Got that little cough. A little snotty when he wakes up. All right, Sam. Good morning. Stephen Miller. Good morning. What's up, Dad? Good morning. Craig Polk, Tyler Hales, Rusty Setall. Lil C, what's up, brah? Trampus Butler, Boyce Yarbrough, Brian Kling, Stephen Martinez, Lori Lockhart, Prophet, Vance McBroom, good morning, Joey Painich, Craig Sandoval. See everybody here this morning, man. John Melancon Jr., Melissa, I was kidding. Let's see, stay warm. Is it that cold? I saw it's 44 degrees, low of 36 tonight. Good Lord, that escalated quickly. I mean, that got out of hand in a hurry. Brick killed the guy. Let's see. Yeah, Steven said the weather has the kiddos sick. Dude, Drew's been fighting this for about 3 weeks now, man. Weird. Just like he'll wake up with this, this gunk. And whenever he lays flat, so we've had like his bed elevated. We got one of those cheese wedges under to kind of elevate him a little more. I've been getting up at 2 a.m. every day for feels like a month now to give him another dose of Benadryl so he sleeps through the night, because otherwise he'd be waking up at 2 a.m. every day just hacking. It was bad for a while. So, but I think he's coming through it. Corey Messina, good morning. Bob Kubrick, Catherine, good morning. Brian Greer, Stephen Foyle. Hope everybody's doing well. Good morning, America. Thank you, Craig Savoy. Stephen Martinez, Carrie Hughes, what's up, everybody? Good sipping weather. Coffee. Don't get trivia started on that. Sipping anything else other than coffee this morning. Brandon Brazel. Let's see. Don't think he's too excited about the hat thing. he'll get there. Hey, Libby. Good morning. Rashad Bolden. Good morning. Kyle Pierce. Good morning. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Justin Robertson, Justin Godin, Brandon Scott. Good to see everybody here. Grant. Is that M-A-I-L-H-E-S or M-A-I-H-E-S? Grant Mays? Males? Appreciate you for watching, Grant. All right. So, a couple of things. Talked about it yesterday on the show. Brandon Marshall signed with the Saints. I like it. LSU plays Memphis tonight. Not a great Memphis team, but I think LSU beat them last year in Memphis. So this is the return trip. LSU is a better team. Should win this game tonight. Go to 3-0. Truthfully, it's one of those things where you look at the name on the jersey, and Memphis is probably fresh market, but really he means Calandros, because that's where you can get Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix Margarita Mix. You look at the name on the jersey, and you think Memphis is probably the best opponent so far. Actually, Greensboro is better than Memphis. A little bit of a transition year there with Penny. I'm trying to see. I'm looking for a spread on tonight's game. LSU by 11 is the spread tonight. So LSU should win this game. Really, what I'm interested to see is if they continue to improve defensively. I was listening to Hunt's podcast yesterday. If you don't listen to it, you should. Hoops with Hunt. He does a really good job. Hunt Palmer. And he made a really good point about some of the guys like in high school or JUCO that just didn't have to defend. They knew they can just get the ball and score. And when he said it, I was thinking, man, because I was at the game on Friday, and really the main culprits, one of the main culprits in the second half when Callaway was going on his 3-point binge was Marlon Taylor. And that's a guy who can jump out the gym and, explosive dunks and is exciting and all that stuff, but probably didn't have to do a ton of defending the 3-point line in JUCO. But in Division I, you better. I guess point is, I think they will keep getting better defensively. So I'm interested to see how they do tonight. And then if y'all have anything you want to talk about with LSU football, fire away. I mentioned this on AFR yesterday. It was so interesting to me how that show transpired yesterday. I even said it on air, like in the 4 o'clock hour, that I was really surprised. Like me and Brian and Paul were talking about it in the break. It was like coming off kind of a blase win against Arkansas and you're going into Rice week. I just didn't anticipate a lot of emotion, and it was just really interesting to me because the conversation turned. And normally on a Monday, when I go in on a Monday, on a football Monday, prep is just so different. Like, because reaction is just going to come. And so a lot of times I'll leave segments. If I ever showed you my rundown, so there's 12 segments in the show, 4 per hour. And in every segment, I usually have at least 2 pieces of content per segment. Like, lead the show yesterday would have been my recap of LSU, Arkansas, and Brandon Marshall signs with the Saints. So and then so on and so forth. Like in Around the SEC, I'd have Around the SEC, and then I usually have 2 kicker topics to bracket Around the SEC. So I'd come out of break and I'd talk about something for about a minute or 2, do a live read, go into Around the SEC, and then something to back end the segment as well. So you get, you know what I mean? There's a lot of that goes into a normal day on AFR. On Mondays, you just don't need that much. Like, there are days where I'll just leave a segment open, just be like, listener interaction, like talk segment, because I know I'm going to get questions or comments from the audience that I can just use that as the segment there. But yesterday was a day where figuring coming out of Arkansas, going into Rice, it was probably going to be a slower day. Just candidly, I thought it would be a slower day. And so I had tons of, like I would on a normal day, just tons of content plugged in and into every segment. And man, and the first hour went as I thought it would, and I started off the second hour, and I did talk about one of the comments that Ed made at his press conference yesterday. We was asked sort of about the championship expectations and the program and all, and I made some comments about it, and it was just like it lit a fuse. And for like the next hour and 15 minutes, it was just wall-to-wall people react. It became this sort of state of the program type conversation, which I completely did not intend and would have continued, but I had Scott Shanley scheduled for 5:15, so it just sort of turned off the spigot of that conversation, and then Shanley no-showed. Go figure. So anyway, hi!
Seat.
So I was interested, man. I just thought yesterday was so interesting. Seat? Are you going in Papa's truck? Can I have this, please? Thank you. I don't like that little cough. Kiddo. I need to kick that thing for show. For show. Oh, yeah. Home Depot. Man, one of y'all made a recommendation to me about getting ear pods to do the show. And I was talking to somebody about it yesterday. I was talking to someone who was wearing them. I think that's a heck of an idea, man. I think I'm going to do that. I think it'll give us better audio quality. Allow me to move around if I need to with him, and you'd be able to hear me the same. And I think it'd be really good also for whiskey and wine with Jordy. Because right now I mentioned before, I have a lapel mic right here. That's a little microphone that I just clip right here and put right in front of me. Because if I put it on my shirt, it's too loud. Oh, we tried that before. But anyway, probably could pick one up today. Hi, bud. All right, let's get to some of these people's questions. What do you think? Dad, that car? Well, maybe tonight. Is that okay? Is that okay? I guess so. Hey, Drew. Never heard of it. All right. Here you go. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, let's get to you. Hey, Aunt Sharon. Good morning, Travis McGraw. Everett Himmel, good morning. Andrew Bear. Fulton out for the season. What year is he? Is he out for the season? I heard Ed say yesterday that he's out for this week, and they weren't sure when they'd get him back. I talked to Gordy on Saturday. Like, it was so funny because Gordy called me during the second half of the game from the field. That's going to show you what kind of atmosphere it was in that stadium like. And I was asking him about it. He's like, yeah, he just turned his ankle on that play in the end zone. So that was interesting, man. But then I heard Ogeron say, like, he's not going to play this week and not sure when they get him back. So I don't know. Fulton is a sophomore, but he is draft eligible because he's 3 years removed from high school. But I do not think that Fulton's going pro after missing all of last year. So he played his freshman year. He sat out last year. So this is his you know what, actually? I need to check on that. Because I've heard two different things. I was told, actually, that you cannot take a redshirt year during a suspension. So, like, he still has a redshirt year available, but technically he'd be classified as a junior this year. But you cannot take a redshirt year during your suspension, if that makes sense. So, like, he could redshirt next year and play. But I need to check on that to see if he gets that year or not. But he could go pro after this year if he wanted to. Long and the short of it is, I think Fulton's back next year either way. Blake McGraw, good morning. Let's see. Carrie, what was the consensus of calls yesterday on AFR of LSU Arkansas concerning the offense? It was very similar to, I'd say it's very similar to post game. For every 10 people that were concerned about the offense and expressed some concern, you'd have one that would say, hey man, they're 8-2. What's the matter? So, I mean, there's really only one cure for that. It's to go out and have a really good offensive day against Rice and then a really good offensive day against A&M and give people hope that offensively you're progressing. Kyle Gallo, LSU basketball tonight. Naz is a bad man. Yes, he is. Y'all realize Naz Reid was 4 of 6 from 3 and has not missed a free throw yet this year? For a guy that's 6'10", 250, and chiseled with, like, wicked hair, too, to lead your team in three-point shooting and to have not missed a free throw through 2 games, it's incredible. You basically eliminate the possibility of hack a Naz. You can't like hack a Shaq, can't hack a Naz. You can't. I think they call it Naz. I heard Will Wade yelling Naz. I've been saying Naz Reid, but Will was yelling at Naz on the floor on Friday. Derek Young, Doug Shappleton, what's up, dude? Catherine, my dog just perked up when she heard Drew scream. I'll try to get him to do it again. Jason Meeks, good morning. Stephen Beach, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Ronnie Duga, Colby Hester, good morning. Jacob Cello, Rashad Bolden. I know it's early, but if LSU wants to beat Bama, they should play them early in the season, pre-bye week, when Bama isn't as good as they'll be. We've talked about that a lot, Rashad. The problem is, well, first of all, the SEC determines the schedule. So the SEC is going to put that game first weekend in November because there are just certain things that they're going to plug in. Some things are odd and rotate, like LSU, Mississippi State, for example. It was late October this year. Sometimes it's September. Poetry. I'm so proud of you for the way you're saying that, buddy. That is so clear. He's saying poetry. He wants the poetry. Bless you. Saying poetry. A poetry show on a Classical Baby. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Are you canceling people out? Make sure. Papa truck? Oh, you swiped comments, okay. I'm just making sure you didn't cancel anybody out here. Okay. Alright, everybody's still good. And Rashad, the other thing about the bye week is like you don't have to take your bye week before Bama, but they're still going to take their bye there. So fresh market, but really what he means is Calandros because Calandros has Boudreaux's. Bloody Mary mix, margarita mix. So does Calvin's and Canadas and Mid City Craft Wine and Brews. You'll go buy some. Mark Allen, Ben Clark, what's up? Let's see. Tyler. I just saw where Sean Payton is honoring a golf bet with Doug Peterson. Yeah. That was over the summer. And Peyton lost. They were playing some tournament. Peyton lost to Peterson. And it was the bet was that the Eagles got to wear their home jerseys in the Dome this year. But you know what? I don't even care because I love the Saints color rush uniform. Saints are going to wear their white color rush, which to me is gorgeous. I know we've talked about it before, but the Saints color scheme, black and gold, is so gaudy. Like, it's so hard to make something that looks good. Like, you have to go you have to have a dominance of, like, white with that gold trim. That gold has to be an accent color. It can't be a dominant color because it's ugly. It's just so gaudy. So, like, those color rush uniforms that's a beautiful shade of gold that they use. It's not overwhelming. I love how they trim the number. I love the sleeve as well, the black and the gold stripe on the sleeve. I just think that the color rush uniforms the Saints white color rush are gorgeous. I wish they would adopt them permanently as their whites. I mean, and I wish they would make a similar uniform in the black jersey. 7, 8. Home Depot. Woo, but son. Albertsons. We got an Albertsons by our house. So weird too. I had to go there for when I got my LASIK done at Williamson. They called in a prescription, and the only pharmacy within like a 20-mile radius of my house was this Albertsons. And Drew had never been in an Albertsons before, so we had to go there to go get these drops that I needed after my LASIK, and he was on fire. Loved it. So now he walks around. He's like, like he just wants to go to Albertsons just to walk around. So we go to Albertsons a lot just to walk around. Don Jolabois, good morning. What part, Mark? Oh, North Louisiana. Joel Shambler, good morning. All right, Catherine, that's true. I hate playing them when they're coming off a bye. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people talked about that with Bama. You know, with playing them coming off. I mentioned the CBS night game, all that stuff. It just built up so big. I mentioned it last year as well. I just don't think it's going to change, and it's not something that people complained about when LSU was beating Alabama. It's just like the officials now. People complain about the refs. So John Cohen, if you got your morning Scone Daily email, John Cohen, the AD at Mississippi State, says he's now contacted the SEC about officiating in the Alabama game. I'm like, hi. 3 A B C D E 1 2 A B C D E 1 2 3 Poetry. Hey Drew, I have a question for you. Are you gonna go to Abilities today? Huh? Are you gonna go to Abilities?
Mama, I'll show you.
Oh, did you say Mama Art Show? Huh. Got him. Oh, Hunt. Hunt, God dog it, Hunt. Hunt, is there anybody that can help you there? I almost texted you two before I started this just to make sure you were good. Jason, mix some honey, hot apple cider, Elijah Craig for Drew's health. I would, but he doesn't drink. Remember, he's got a feeding tube. But I still wouldn't put the Elijah Craig in there. I gotta call Hunt. I don't know Hunt's number off the top of my head. I used to. It's 318. Hang on, y'all. I gotta talk to Hunt. Hang on. All right, y'all. Just sit tight. I'll promise it's coming right back. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, we're back. I guess that means Hunt figured it out. He didn't answer his phone. Hey. Sorry about that, y'all. So Hunt is recording the Hoops with Hunt podcast, and so he goes up to the studio, and I've been helping him, figure out the board, the audio board and everything in studio and how to pull. So that's what he just posted on there. He's like, I can't figure out the board again, baby. So I had to call him, but he didn't answer, so I guess he got it. He figured it out. Nah, so he was only 5'7" in 8th grade. That's crazy. All right, Brandon Ray, Jeffrey Sanford, good morning. Let's see. Glenda Blanchard, good morning. Sam says, so Matt, do you think O is finally good with Shelvin, or did his playing time have to do with Foco's absence? O did say that Shelvin's lost about 40 pounds, which is good, and I do believe that they had that conversation after, Mama. It's probably, but they're probably hand in hand, Sam. Shelvin's probably one of those guys that, as long as he's playing, he's going to be all right. But the fact that he's just sitting there watching other guys play and not getting on the field, probably didn't sit well with him. You see it a lot with receivers too. What?
No.
Woo!
Attach.
It's attach. Can you say attach?
No.
Not just attach.
Attach.
No. Thank you. Very good. Attach. Drew likes attach. Like Boudreaux's is attached to this Facebook Live video, the show. Let's see. Kyle, 5'10", grew to 6'7" in less than a year. That's crazy, man. That's like Anthony Davis. Jamie, can't wait to see our new look simplified offense. Oh my God. For those that missed it, Ogeron said yesterday that they went back and assessed after the Georgia game and feels like maybe they try to put too much in. They need to simplify. It doesn't look like it can get much simpler. Christian Avery, good morning. Can you imagine growing 9 inches in a year? His poor parents. Imagine buying clothes for that. Like every month you're buying a new wardrobe. All right, let's see. Stephen Miller, follow-up question from last night. Did Ogeron clamor over Burrow being a student of the game, or didn't, and watched hours and hours of game film this summer? He did, yes, but I don't quite understand the question. So, Stephen, follow up with the question. But yes, he did, and Ensminger talked about that too. And the other thing about Burrow is like he's kind of doing the Mettenberger route where he's taking like online classes where, hey bud, or like one class where he's just always up at the football building, even Home Depot. I think I've told you all this before, but I remember Zach. Like there were times in 2013. So Zach Mettenberger in 2013 had one online course that semester. That was it. And apparently there's an NCAA rule like where if you're set to graduate, you don't have to have a full slate as long as like you're on pace to graduate. So Zach had one. That's 8. A B
2.
AB2. AB2. All our letters and numbers. Very good. AB2. But I remember Zach would he would go get Starbucks every morning, and he'd go up to the football building in flip flops and shorts and just go watch film all day. You know, he just basically became a full-time football player. I think Burrow's doing some of that too, man. But I just also think you got to remember that was Mettenberger's third season at LSU. Remember, he sat in 2011, and then he didn't play in 11. He started in 12, and that was bumpy. And in 13, it clicked. So my hope would be for Burrow that next year 2 under Ensminger, year 2 with all those receivers, year 2 in the offense, year 2 as a starter, looking at defenses that next year, comes together for him. Terrell Coleman, those unis the Saints wore back when Jake Delhomme started Monday Night were nice. Yeah, so that would be my my choice for was that Monday or was that a Sunday night? I think they're playing the Bucks. For if they switched their home uniforms, it's very similar to the Color Rush, but they went black jersey, old gold pants, the old gold numeral, the stripe on the sleeve. You can go find it. If you find pictures of that, but I agree with you completely. Those were gorgeous. It's hard to do with that combo, with the black and gold combo, because it's not an attractive color scheme. It's hard. It's not like red, white, and blue, which go together. We're used to seeing that as a combo. Like Ole Miss, Ole Miss would have to try to screw up a uniform combo. They have nice colors that all go together. Let's see, Steven, what happened to that? Because I know I'm hearing some say Burrow is misreading defensive end. Oh, Steven, man, you are all on a read option, man. I'll ask. Did you hear? I asked Hester your question yesterday. I'll ask Flynn today because Flynn could probably speak more to it. And you know what? Next time we get a chance to talk to Burrow, I'll ask him too. I haven't gotten to go to much media availability for players because because of when it is. A lot of times it's while I'm on the air. But I'll get somebody to ask Joe. I think it's probably a situation. Hester's answer was probably both. There's probably some of those plays where it's a called give or called keep, and the other part is maybe he's just not that good at it because he's never done that before. That's never been part of his repertoire. He didn't do that in high school. It's certainly not what he was doing at Ohio State. Anyway, I understand your point though, man, and you're right to the fact that. And for those, Stephen was asking about the read option plays, where it looks like sometimes Burrow's not making the correct read, the end comes crashing down and he gives the ball anyway, and he's right, he's completely right. But I don't know if those are, I think it's probably a combo where there's some where they're straight gives, and there's some where he's just misreading it, and there's some where it's wide open. Man, he had what's the game? Was it Ole Miss where he had the 50-yard run at the end of the game to ice it? Not to ice it. I mean, they'd already iced it, but or was it Georgia? It would have been Georgia, where he had that. He kept tucked it and ran. Same thing that he iced the game against Arkansas with one. Around right in. So I don't know. I don't have a great answer, but I sure wish we could talk to coordinators. It'd be a good question to ask Steve Ensminger. Kirk, Fehoko not being able to go for 2 weeks probably isn't good. Yeah, Fehoko tore his bicep. I was quite honestly very surprised that he played against Bama, but it was clear they were just going to sit him against Georgia, State, give him the week off, and then give him 2 weeks to try to get ready to where he could play against Bama. But that's not surprising, man, because do y'all remember? Wasn't it Justin? What was that kid's name? Oh, 95. What was that kid's name? Quentin Thomas. That was it. Quentin Thomas. Y'all remember Quentin Thomas, before the season one year, maybe in 2013, he tore his bicep and they said he's done for the year. And then somehow he ended up playing the whole season. And they were just we don't really have an explanation, but typically people with this injury, they're done for the year and it's excruciating. But him, we did some treatment, and he's playing through it, and he says it doesn't bother him. And he's Quentin Thomas told reporters that year, he's it's just a miracle. It's just I don't feel the pain. I mean, I know it should be. It was a weird thing, but that's woo. But that's like that's the focus, guys. Woohoo! Woohoo! Hey, can I ask you a question? Hey, can I ask you a question? Oh, I forgot. I gotta go on Okay. Yo, I totally forgot. Normally I go on Josh Ennis' show in Houston at 9 o'clock. I'm going on at 8:15 today. So he's about to call me. Actually, I have to dial them up. So I'm very sorry, y'all, but I got to end this because I had to dial them up. We did this via Conroe. So if you want to hear me on another station, if you just can't get enough Scone in your life, Sports Talk 790 in Houston. I'll be on the Josh Ennis show here momentarily. So in 2 minutes. Actually, so let me see if we can get one more. One more. Boudreaux, morningscone.com, Locked on LSU podcast, AFR, Hoops with Hunt podcast. Let's see, ULAN. Morning, Matt. If the SEC picks the schedule, why don't they make Bama pick a tougher opponent? What do you mean? The SEC schedules the SEC games, and they rotate. So, okay, y'all, I got to jump. I'm very, very sorry that I got to jump so quickly, but got to go do this interview. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Awesome day. See y'all mañana.